like being in a place that has some very cool images and ways to think. I want to thank Word Farm Press that just published my book. It's coming out on April 1st. Something stuck on. But I have, that wasn't the book, don't worry. I have author copies tonight, so this is my new book. It's called The Behavior of Clocks, and I'm really excited to be reading from this tonight. So the title, The Behavior of Clocks, comes from the title of a chapter in a book that Albert Einstein, our friend Albert Einstein, wrote for the lay person who knows nothing really about science and physics, to try and help them understand the theory of relativity. Why does that name fit this book? Well, when I was at a convention on creativity it was about 10 years ago. D.M. Jones was leading it, and on the screen popped up a picture of Einstein playing violin. I'd never seen that picture before. He's very intent over the violin, and I think it was D.M. who was talking at that point, said, whenever Einstein got stumped over his equations, his theories, trying to work out the mathematical proofs for his theories, he would break out the violin and play Mozart. And he went on to talk about how creativity in both physics and in writing and in other creative arts comes from that same place of taking risks and stepping out and kind of losing yourself to some degree in that flow. So I was really intrigued, and I was off like a rocket with that. And so I'm going to read through some poems in the book in a particular order. First, to sort of introduce you to this idea of the Einstein thought experiments, where he was using metaphors to help people kind of get it about clocks, using clocks and trains, among other things. So I kind of love the whole thing of, if you ever read this book, you can really, he feels, I was going to say he's like an uncle, and that maybe doesn't have good connotations tonight. But you really see him trying to talk to us, you're going to get this, and it's like, you're on a train and you drop a coin. But the idea, that the very first one that I'm going to read is called Einstein's Violin. I was really moved by the picture. Einstein's violin. He tucks it under his chin, raises bow to string, the fingerboard running straight from cheek into the palm of his cupped left hand. Cochlea, clavicle, each fingertip curved, some for the balance of the bow, others poised on the strings. So much curled into the minute before music begins. He cocks an eyebrow toward the music stand, finds his place in the lines and spaces, the intervals of sound, like distance and time, paused. He scans the pattern of notes, the signature and notation, a specific gravity, down bow, and the universe moving in one direction feels the pull in another. Sound expands, reverberates, notes improvising some rhapsody, harmonies he hears the way he sees the nature of energy, vibrating. He taps his foot, keeping time. So, when I write poems, and maybe some of you do, I see the I as a speaker, certainly inflected with me, but maybe pulling from experiences of other people. But I'm going to read this poem as if I, and the I is me, because I think the next two poems I'm going to read sort of respond to this experience I had around the Einstein imagery. Some birthday, because my soul, open like a tin can under heaven, caught lost light, refracted from a planet or star I never saw, but felt illuminate my empty core, the dark matter of fact, and like a can once opened can never be resealed. This became my because, the thin, curved metal of my remaining days. The lid off, mouth open, catch all that can be, mystery of moment, rolled under aluminum stars, a comet's glance, the knife blade moon slicing, sliding, O moon. And you, sun, bleached memories of wakefulnesses, flickering, empty as it can, complete as it can be opened, open, empty under heaven, matter's dark fact, and the seasons turning. The road to Chualar. I testified to what I saw, something, a glint in the distance, a wink, maybe miracles at work, like new houses or springs of water fountaining forth, the adobe furrows rinsed wet and black. To the west, the mountain's dark margin held it in, held them back, fields of gold, a bird turning on silvered wings. Did not our hearts burn within us? Shadows fell between the mountain's knees, and what could ignite did, just like that, spent vines ablaze, the sky forgotten. Stands of poplars, too, offered a type of forgiveness to incurious cows. People bowed low among lettuces. It was over in an instant. The CD ended, the road pulled away, so I wouldn't see the shining dim or night veil what I had seen, what burns within. And I'm not a scientist, so do not talk to me about the theory of relativity. I, like, every once in a while, I'll go back and kind of review it, and oh yeah, okay, I got it now, all right. It's like you drop the stone out the window, and the train is moving. But, you know, when you start talking about the universe, it's another thing.